class? Chris Haskins here with the realestateroundup.com. Thank you for allowing me to pour into your day. My mission statement: uplift the financial literacy of my fellow mankind through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. Today, I've got a video training, a flip tip, if you will. Another flip tip for you. Today is a day with a real estate investor. A day with a real estate investor. Once again, we're right here. School is out. I'm daddy daycare. Grandmom is here today in the building. And we are doing what real estate investors do on a daily basis. Today, one of the legs of income for me, is lease options / owner financing / land contracts / contract for deed, all the same, rolled up in a bucket. But I want to walk you through. It's about 11 o'clock my time. I've got a tenant that we are in the process of evicting. We have done all of our legal notices been sent out, and today we have court at 1 o'clock. So I'm going to bring you right as we go into court to see if we can get possession of my property. Remember, you can own a piece of property, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have possession. So my rental properties, I don't have the right to go inside of the properties at any time. I don't have quiet enjoyment. So today what I want to do is show you how we deal with tenants before we go to court. So a few minutes ago, the tenant, so I've done all the stuff I needed to do. But what is eviction? Let's talk about eviction first. How do we get to the eviction? Y'all good? The eviction process. In Virginia, it is called filing an unlawful detainer. What's up, guys? No more snacks. You just had lunch. You just had lunch. No more snacks, okay? All right. Okay, so in Virginia, good God Almighty, help me with this one. In Virginia, you have to file your pay or quit notice. Well, in America, you have to file a pay or quit notice. Pay or quit notice. I don't have a definition for that because I couldn't find a good one. It's not in my dictionary. Pay or quit notice is the tenant is either going to pay your rent or quit living there, basically. Pay or quit. Pay or quit, okay? So, in Virginia, it is a 5-day. 5-day pay or quit. I know in Indiana, it's a 3-day. Indiana is a 10-day pay or quit. 10-day pay or quit. I don't know who in the heck got that law passed. You gotta wait 10 days before you can even before you can file your eviction. So you after the tenant has not paid their rent, you have to mail your pay or quit notice. Pay or quit notice. That merely says pay the rent or quit. Now, I have a copy of mine. I'll put it down here. I'll show it to you on the screen. Now, in accordance with section 55-255 and 55-248.31 Code of Virginia, you are hereby notified that you are in the default in the payments of rent, late charges, and miscellaneous charges, all as itemized below. We've got the rent, we've got late charges, and we've got miscellaneous charges. I don't put anything there. Total due landlord as of date, whatever date it is. You can read this. If you do not pay the full amount due, your landlord within 5 days of this date, of the date of this notice was mailed, your rental agreement will be terminated. Your account will be turned over to our attorney for immediate institution of eviction proceedings. Now, you don't have to do that. This notice here is nothing but I try to get emotion out of my tenants. So you have to stay on top of tenants because either you're going to train them or they will train you. I promise you. Let me repeat that. You will train them or they will train you. How do I know this? Because I have lived and worked with another millionaire real estate investor when I first started my career back in 2007, 8, 9, 10. I rolled with a guy that owned 15 properties. He went from living in an oceanfront property, 3,000 square feet, driving Hummers. Guy had all the money in the world. Fast forward several years later, he was broke living in his car. I saw how it all went down, and I'm going to show you what to do so that doesn't happen to you. If you own rental property, you better follow these guidelines. Okay, pay or quit notice. You got to file that the day they're late. Stop collecting rent on the 1st. We do not collect rent on the 1st for the following month. We collect rent on the 28th of the preceding month for the future month. Let me repeat that. If it is January 28th today, rents are due today for February 1st. So there is no grace period. It is due on the 28th of the preceding month late on the 1st. So by the 1st, you should have your rent, or you file your pay or quit notice. File your pay or quit notice. Now, once your tenant is late, this is all the stuff I've already done for our court case today. And remember, we have court at 1 o'clock. My tenant has called me a little while, about 5 or 10 minutes ago. He said he has the rent. All right, so we're gonna get to that. Hopefully, I'm gonna record all this. You're gonna see us interacting with our tenant, explaining what happened with his rent and how he's gonna pay it. I don't know. So we file our unlawful detainer here in Virginia. In different states, that are called different things. I've seen it just an eviction filing, but in Virginia, it's called an unlawful detainer. You can Google that. What is the definition of an unlawful detainer? Well, dictionary.law.com. I don't know why my Barron's real estate guide doesn't have this, but an unlawful detainer, according to them, is a legal action to evict a tenant or other occupier of real property in possession without a legal right, to declare a breach of lease and or such judgment for repossession, as well as unpaid rent and other damages. Basically, we're coming after the tenant for the rent and any damages he has done to the property. Such lawsuits have priority over most legal cases and therefore will be calendared for trial promptly. What does promptly mean in the legal world? Oh God, I need help with this. The legal world, prompt, in my opinion, is 30 days, possibly 45 days. So if you file your unlawful detainer with the court systems, you're still out 30 days. Dang, Grandma, that kind of got burned.
It did.
We're making lunch. It's summertime. In the middle of the day, it's 12 o'clock. Good God, thank you for real estate. Okay. File your unlawful detainer. If you file it the day they're late, if you file it after your pay or quit notice expires. So the day that they're late, you mail the pay or quit notice, which we've already done. We tried to collect rent on the 28th. They didn't pay. We filed out unlawful detainer. I'm going to show you this on the flash this up. This is our legal form with the court systems. This is an unlawful detainer. I'm going to show you. I filed my unlawful detainer on August 3rd because I knew something was fishy going on because he didn't pay rent the preceding month to the 30th of July. So if you look in the right hand corner here, right on the right hand side, you can see my court date is August 28th at 1 p.m. August 28th. So it took me 4 weeks to get on the docket. So I want you to know the reason why I can explain this to you in my experience since 2004. I have watched other investors. I've seen one, let me tell you, I have watched another investor go broke from not filing his paperwork in a promptly. Even if they tell you they're going to pay, you still need to file your unlawful detainers, and then you can work with them or possibly take partial payments. You need to file this stuff. You need to file this stuff on time. The moment you can file it, you better file it, unless your gut is telling you that they're going to pay. Now, you can always make some type of concessions for your tenant, but still file it just in case they don't pay. I've seen people go out of business from not getting tenants out. So we file the unlawful detainer as soon as we can. Now I'm going to repeat that. I filed this on August 3rd, and you see my court date isn't until August 28th. So even if you do everything by the book, you're a month out. And guess whose mortgage is due during this month? Mine. I still have to pay the mortgage, right? I still have to pay the mortgage even though the tenant doesn't pay. So you need to be very proactive and vigilant in getting tenants to pay. Either they're going to train you or you will train them. So every month if they don't pay, we're filing this because we deal with high risk tenants when we do lease options. People that have challenged credit, people that have bankruptcies. You don't want to be the next person that's bankrupt like my friend. So let me see if I want to read this. Yeah, we're going to read this too. The claim and affidavit. The defendant, tenant, unlawfully detains and withholds from the plaintiff, which is me, 123 Easy Street, and that the defendant shall be removed from possession based on the following: unpaid rent. All I want is unpaid rent. I don't care about anything else. Or either pay your rent or get out. Pay or quit. Pay or leave. That's all I need. Okay, so I broke that down for you. Got your pay or quit notice. Don't collect rents on the first, and don't be given grace periods. It's a waste of time. How many times have I taken over properties where the owner said, well, the tenant is just a month late, 2 months late. Next thing you know, they're 6 months late because they didn't follow proper protocol. Yes. Last, file your unlawful detainer. File it right now. It's going to cost you $60, but go ahead and file it. You can always recoup that from the tenant, him or herself. You can get that money back. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to take you. The tenant called me right before I shot this video. He said, "Hey Chris, I got the rent money." And mind you, a couple of days ago, he said he wasn't going to have it for a week. So I'm not saying any of this is good or bad, right or wrong. This is just how it has worked for me since 2004. And I didn't do this in 2004. I didn't start this until about 2010 when I saw my friend have tenants living his properties for 6, 7 months. And then I was evicting people with him that hadn't paid for, they owed this guy thousands of dollars, 3, 4, 5, 6 thousands of dollars. And he was paying mortgages, and I saw his wealth just start getting depleted and depleted. Robert Kiyosaki says your wealth is nothing but an iceberg. Just chip out of the way, chip away. Now this is how you can protect your wealth. Hedge against bad tenants. All right, so we're gonna see what he says. If he has the rent, I hope so. If not, we're going to court at 1. My tenant, he called me up. I'm just gonna say this one more time. He said, "Chris, I'd like to meet you and pay my rent for this month." Now, I'll tell you, today is the 28th of August. He wants to pay for August. So in 3 days, we got September 1st. So I need to find out if he's paying rent for August, when the hell are you gonna pay rent for September, right? So we need to talk about this stuff and be upfront and break things down very clear so your resident or your tenant will have no questions about where you stand and what position you take or your posture with what he's going to do and finding out how to pay his rent. All right, so let's go meet my tenant and see what he says. Okay. Oh, one more thing before we go. Subscribe to my channel if this stuff has helped you in any way. If I've helped your real estate career, subscribe to my channel, like the content, share it with other aspiring real estate investors or landlords that are tired or the tenants are raking them over the coals by not paying their rent. You gotta follow this stuff. Okay, let's do this. And also comments with any other type of trainings or anything that you do for your tenants, how to keep them in check. Because remember, if you don't train them, they're gonna train you. Let's go meet my tenant. Okay, so we're in the car. My daughter just asked me a question. Hit it. Where are we going? Yes, excellent question. So yes, we are on the way. As I described for you a few moments ago, we're on the way to meet one of my residents. He is a tenant buyer. He's already given us a down payment quite a while ago. So today I have court today at 1 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock. He says he has his rent money. We're gonna cut him some slack. We're not even gonna worry about late fees and all that stuff, but he says he has the rent money now, 2 hours before court. And this is how the business works, guys. You don't know, you gotta kind of work with people when they get the money. Sometimes they're late. And today is the 28th of the month. He's paying rent for this month on the 28th of this month. So he's 28 days late. He's 28 days late on his rent. People happen. He had a injury on his job or off the job or whatever it was. So we're gonna see if we can work with him to get his rent money. And I'm gonna talk to him about getting back on track. And hopefully he'll tell me his plan to get on track. That is my goal, to talk about your plan. Every man has to have a plan for the future or to get back on track when you get off track. Everybody gets off track, just like the plane flying in the air. They're off track the majority of the time. They have the navigation system getting them back on track, getting them to their destination. As long as we get to the destination, I'm cool with that. I don't care if you're off track half the time. Fine, just let me know, what is your plan? All right, Taylor, so we're going to meet one of my tenants. He's going to pay rent today. Any other questions on that? All right, so I'll bring you back when we're meeting with this tenant buyer. At the store, getting ready to meet our resident. You don't gotta use your right hand, just hold it with the stick. Getting ready to meet our resident. Come on, Taylor, come on out with it.
Wait, I can't get out the car.
Huh?
I can't get out.
You get out the car. Let's make sure you record everything so I make sure everybody clear. I'll make sure you're aware of that. Okay. All right, good. So how you coming on things, man? What are you
good,
thinking?
Man, I'm going back to work next week.
Praise God.
Yeah, man.
What's going on?
Gotta make it out. You know what I mean?
Okay. What you doing? I know we got this one coming. You tell me what is your plan or what you
Well,
have in
man,
mind?
I'm hoping I have it before my next week. But if not, I might
So
have
look
it
at 2 weeks.
2 weeks. At the latest. At the latest.
All right. That's the latest.
At the latest.
I'm not even going to court today. I just don't have the time to deal with this, man. So what is this? You got all right. I'm not even going to court, brother. We'll just say 2 weeks out. Just give me a green to work, and I won't have to charge you another court fee. That's another $60. Here, let's go. All right. I'll talk to you soon. God bless you. Okay. All right. So it looks like come on, you can keep rolling. Looks like our residence. It seems like it's a man up before you. Come on, Taylor. Thank you for working with me today, little Taylor.
Thank you.
We'll take you to the movies later.
Yay!
Come on, roll. So it looks like our residents did exactly what he said he would do. He's got his rent in. Court is in 2 hours. But unfortunately, this is what you kind of have to do to let people know that you're serious. So I'm not saying any of this is right or wrong, good or bad. It just is. It just is part of the business. So we're good here. We got, praise God. Let's make sure it's in here. We got his money orders. He's ready to go. Pay his rent. Once again, I want you to know that this is not good or bad, right or wrong. This is just part of the business. You better make sure you are filing your. In our state, they are called unlawful detainers. In other states, they are called different things. If you learned from our training a few minutes ago, earlier in this training, different states have different rules, different guidelines, different time constraints or time requirements for you to file these papers. You better get them in. If you have any qualms or any reservations about filing this paperwork, please take a look at one of my last videos, the 9 lessons I learned from watching one of my millionaire real estate investor friends go completely broke, living inside a 3,000 square foot waterfront mansion to living in his car, lost his family, lost everything, lost all of his houses. This is the reason that I do this. You better file that paperwork. All right, so you've learned how my process for how we deal with residents. You do what you want. All right, Chris Haskins signing off with realestateroundup.com. Thank you for taking the time to hang out with me today. I hope I have poured some value into your life. Like this content. Share it with another real estate investor or another property owner that's going through some issues. And comment below of any trainings you'd like to see me bring to you in the day of life, or now it's called the day with a real estate investor. I'll see you next time, guys.